Love the Ravens as much as we do? Then smash that subscribe button and stay locked in with Flock News for all the drama, updates, and excitement all season long. The news that has been making waves across every corner of the NFL community is nothing short of unbelievable, and at the same time, completely electrifying for fans who live for speed and jaw-dropping highlights. According to whispers from inside sources close to the Ravens front office, Baltimore has made what many are calling the boldest move of the decade by closing a deal with none other than TYREEK Hill. Yes, that TYREEK Hill, the most feared deep threat in the league. The player whose nickname, Cheetah, isn't just a catchy moniker but a living testament to his ability to erase defensive angles in the blink of an eye. The combination of Hill joining forces with Lamar Jackson immediately catapults the Ravens from being a team that was already difficult to defend to potentially becoming the most unstoppable offensive juggernaut in NFL history. Imagine Lamar rolling out of the pocket, defenders frozen in hesitation, only to look up and see TYREEK streaking downfield at full throttle. The chemistry between a quarterback known for improvisation and a receiver whose acceleration makes defenders question their careers could redefine what we know about explosive football. And fans are already salivating at the possibilities. The magnitude of this signing cannot be overstated, because when you look at the Ravens' history under Lamar Jackson, the one recurring critique has always been the lack of an elite deep threat that could stretch defenses vertically. Sure, Baltimore has leaned heavily on their run-heavy identity, using Lamar's legs as both a weapon and a distraction, while building around tight ends and possession receivers to control the middle of the field. But now, with TYREEK Hill in the fold, that entire playbook takes on a new dimension. Defenses that previously stacked the box to slow down Lamar's rushing lanes now face an impossible dilemma. Do they risk leaving their corners one-on-one against the fastest man in the NFL? Or do they play two safeties deep, opening up enormous gaps for Lamar to exploit on the ground? It's a nightmare scenario for any defensive coordinator, and the Ravens know it. This isn't just a roster addition. This is a philosophical shift, a redefinition of what Baltimore football is about. For years, pundits have doubted whether the Ravens could ever build an air raid-style passing attack to complement their ground dominance. Now that doubt has been obliterated. From a narrative standpoint, this move feels almost cinematic, like something straight out of a blockbuster sports drama, because TYREEK Hill wasn't exactly on anyone's radar as a potential target for the Ravens. His home in Miami seemed secure. His chemistry with Tua Tagovailoa had been one of the bright spots of the Dolphins' resurgence, and there was little reason to believe he'd entertain a move to the AFC North. Yet behind the scenes, whispers grew louder that TYREEK wanted not just highlight plays, but a legacy defined by championships. The Ravens, with their culture of grit, their relentless defense, and a quarterback hungry to prove himself on the biggest stage, offered exactly the environment Hill was craving. That makes this deal not only shocking, but logical in hindsight. TYREEK isn't just adding yards and touchdowns to his career totals. He's adding purpose, joining a franchise whose ambitions mirror his own. And if Baltimore can harness his explosiveness in sync with Lamar's unpredictability, we may be witnessing the birth of a dynasty. The Ravens are no longer chasing contenders. They've become the team others will have to chase. The fan reactions have been nothing short of pandemonium, because in Baltimore, football isn't just a game. It's an identity stitched into the very fabric of the city. Social media exploded the second the news broke, with Ravens Nation flooding timelines with celebratory memes, comparisons to video game cheat codes, and declarations that the AFC has officially been put on notice. Longtime skeptics who questioned the front office's commitment to surrounding Lamar with elite weapons suddenly found themselves silenced by the sheer audacity of this move. Across sports radio stations, callers couldn't contain their excitement, with one fan claiming he hadn't felt this level of anticipation since the Ravens won the Super Bowl in 2012. It's not just hype, it's a cultural reset. The Ravens' offense, once seen as predictable, has now become the most talked-about unit in football, and the season hasn't even started yet. Imagine the ticket sales, the jersey sales, the primetime slots Baltimore is about to command. This isn't just about football, it's about spectacle, entertainment, and rewriting the storylines of an entire league. But let's not overlook the ripple effect this move will have across the rest of the NFL. The Chiefs, who once relied on TYREEK as Patrick Mahomes' secret weapon, know all too well how game-breaking his presence can be. The Dolphins, who showcased Hill as their centerpiece in recent years, will now scramble to fill the void his departure leaves in their offense. And rivals within the AFC North, teams like the Bengals, Browns, and Steelers, are already shaking their heads, knowing that their path to division dominance just became infinitely more complicated. Joe Burrow and Ja'Marr Chase may still be the golden duo in Cincinnati, but the Ravens just built a combination that could surpass them in terms of fear factor. Defenses across the league are going to have to rethink schemes, add speed to their secondaries, and prepare for a weekly track meet when Baltimore takes the field. In short, this signing doesn't just affect Baltimore. It reshapes the balance of power across the entire NFL. TYREEK Hill has shifted the landscape the moment his name was inked onto that Ravens contract. There's also a deeper narrative about Lamar Jackson himself, because for years he has carried the burden of proving he's more than just a running quarterback. Critics have harped on his passing limitations, argued about his ability to thrive in the postseason, and consistently undermined his MVP credentials. By adding TYREEK Hill, the Ravens have essentially handed Lamar the ultimate weapon to silence those doubts once and for all. This partnership forces defenses to respect his arm in a way they never have before, and that's going to open up passing lanes, make reads simpler, and ultimately give Lamar the chance to showcase just how far his game has evolved. For Lamar personally, this might be the defining chapter of his career, the moment he transforms from a highlight machine into a complete quarterback who can dominate every phase of the game. And if he can lead this new-look Ravens offense to a Super Bowl, his legacy won't just be cemented, it'll be immortalized. That's the gravity of this signing. It's bigger than football. It's a generational shift. The buzz around the league is turning into outright hysteria because this deal isn't just about speed. It's about redefining what speed means on a football field. TYREEK Hill's velocity is well documented, but when paired with Lamar Jackson, we're talking about two athletes whose acceleration leaves even elite defenders grasping for air. Add in the existing weapons on Baltimore's roster, guys like Mark Andrews, who already commands double coverage as a tight end, and Zay Flowers, whose rookie flashes hinted at future stardom, and suddenly the Ravens have constructed a layered offense that can beat you at every level of the field. Deep routes, crossing routes, quick screens, option runs. It's a nightmare menu for defenses, and it gives offensive coordinator Todd Monken the ability to unleash creativity without restraint. Imagine the trick plays, the motion packages, the read options where Lamar fakes the handoff, pulls back, and launches a 50-yard bomb to Hill in stride. The Ravens aren't just playing football, they're orchestrating chaos at a level we may have never witnessed before. This is innovation, and it's terrifying for everyone not wearing purple and black. As shocking as this news is, the financial mechanics behind it are equally fascinating, because Baltimore has historically been cautious with blockbuster deals for wide receivers. They've built their identity on defense, on discipline, on running the football, not on splurging for flashy names. But by pulling the trigger on TYREEK Hill, the Ravens are signaling a shift in philosophy that suggests they're all in for the immediate future. Lamar just signed a massive contract extension, and now, with Hill on board, the front office is clearly prioritizing winning now, rather than stockpiling cap flexibility for years down the road. It's a gamble, yes, but one that feels calculated, because TYREEK isn't just an ordinary player. He's a transformative figure, a superstar whose presence lifts the ceiling of an entire team. The Ravens are betting that by combining Hill's game-breaking ability with Lamar's dual-threat brilliance, they'll secure not just wins but championships. And if that gamble pays off, this deal will go down as one of the greatest front office decisions in franchise history, remembered alongside the drafting of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. The pressure this creates for the rest of the AFC is enormous, because teams like the Chiefs and Bills have built their rosters under the assumption that speed kills, and now Baltimore has entered that conversation at an entirely new level. Kansas City may have Mahomes and Kelsey, Buffalo may have Allen and Diggs, but the Ravens now possess the fastest offensive weapon in football paired with the most elusive quarterback in the game. That's a lethal formula, and it shifts the playoff picture dramatically. Analysts are already predicting that the road to the Super Bowl will now run through Baltimore, because this combination is unlike anything we've seen before. The Ravens, often overlooked in national discussions, have forced themselves to the center of attention, and the narrative surrounding them has flipped overnight. From a dark horse contender, they've become the hunted, the team everyone else is scheming to stop. And in the NFL, that kind of psychological advantage is priceless. TYREEK Hill hasn't even suited up in purple yet, and already the league feels different. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. But with great expectations comes immense scrutiny, because while the hype is real, the question remains. Can the Ravens actually deliver on the promise of this move? It's one thing to sign TYREEK Hill. It's another to integrate him seamlessly into an offense that has historically relied on rhythm, balance, and a very particular style of play. Will Lamar and Hill develop the instant chemistry needed to dominate from week one? Or will there be growing pains as they adjust to each other's tendencies? Will defenses figure out creative ways to contain them, forcing Baltimore to rely on less glamorous aspects of their offense? These questions hang heavy, because the higher the expectations, the steeper the fall if reality doesn't match the dream. Yet, at the same time, the ceiling is so tantalizingly high that even skeptics can't help but wonder if this is the dawn of something unprecedented. The Ravens have placed themselves in a spotlight brighter than ever before, and now every play, every pass, every touchdown will be dissected under a microscope. Success will mean glory. Failure will mean relentless criticism. Even beyond the X's and O's, there's the cultural impact to consider, because TYREEK Hill is not just a football player. He's a brand, a personality, a symbol of flash and swagger. By bringing him into Baltimore, the Ravens are merging their blue-collar grit with TYREEK's high-octane flair, creating a fascinating dynamic that could capture national attention in ways few teams manage. This isn't just about football performance. It's about marketing, about headlines, about primetime exposure. Networks will line up to showcase Lamar and TYREEK under the lights, and fans across the country will tune in not just to watch the Ravens, but to be entertained by them. The city of Baltimore, often overshadowed by bigger markets, suddenly has the league's most must-watch show. Kids will imitate Lamar's jukes and TYREEK's sprints on playgrounds. Jerseys will fly off the shelves, and the Ravens brand will explode globally. In a league where perception matters almost as much as performance, this signing elevates Baltimore to a level of stardom that few franchises ever reach. TYREEK Hill's arrival is bigger than football. It's a cultural event. And finally, the story isn't just about the Ravens or even the NFL. It's about the sheer unpredictability of sports, the way one move can flip the entire script overnight. Just days ago, nobody would have believed that TYREEK Hill would trade Miami sunshine for Baltimore grit, that the Ravens would shed their conservative identity and embrace a superstar gamble of this magnitude. Yet here we are, talking about the most electrifying offensive duo the game has ever seen. This is why fans love football, not just for the games themselves, but for the drama, the rumors, the twists that remind us nothing is ever certain. Whether this experiment succeeds or stumbles, it will be remembered. And that's the beauty of it. In a league where legacies are built on moments, the Ravens and TYREEK Hill have already created one. Now the question is simple. Will this partnership rewrite history, or will it become another what if in the long, unpredictable saga of the NFL? Either way, the world is watching, and the Ravens have everyone's attention. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.